We're back on the swimming pool project. It's not an ideal day for it. We're now into winter, as opposed to when we were on it before when it was 103. It's also not 70 out here and I'm bundled up. What we're going to do today is take the air chisel and clean up the rest of this concrete and this rust and get it prepped up. Then come back with a cutoff wheel and cut this strip off. Smooth it all out with a grinder, then weld on new strip, and eventually get some concrete in here for a tile bed. We don't need a swimming pool in the middle of winter, but hopefully we have it done by summer. Over time, all of this is degraded. The concrete has turned to powder. It has broke up because of the rust. And then we have the rust. So the air chisel, we get all this cleaned up so that when we go to grind it, we have something we can see.
What most people don't realize is we're actually off-grid aboard the Aurora. We're not hooked to shore power in any way, shape, or form. We're running strictly on a series of generators and a few solar power banks that I've actually set up. We have to run one of the generators at least 24/7 in order to take care of all of the emergency systems aboard the ship. And that's a lot of work to pack up 10 or 15 gallons worth of gas almost on a daily basis. Depending on some of the projects that we have, we actually have to pack up even more gas and run even more generators. Sometimes we'll run 3 or 4 generators in a day in order to keep up with the crews that are working. It gets expensive, especially with gas prices how they are now. Several weeks ago, EcoFlow contacted us and asked us if we would like to try out one of their portable power stations. It's kind of a no-brainer. Of course we would. I would love to see what this thing could do for the Aurora. So today we're going to see what this power station can do and if it can pull its weight aboard the Aurora. You don't want to miss this. This episode has been sponsored by EcoFlow. So it's 6:45 a.m. here on the Aurora, and the decks are completely frosted and the fog is kind of starting to burn off. It was pretty bad about 15 minutes ago, and I've been slipping and sliding all over the deck trying to get things in place. I have a bunch of projects that I'm actually going to work on, a little bit of each today, but I'm going to actually do them all with this beast. This is the EcoFlow Delta Max 2000, and instead of running generators like we normally do, we normally grab like a little Honda 2000 or whatever we have like 5 or 6 generators on board. So instead of trying that, today I'm going to try this thing with all the tools that I would normally use. We'll see if it can actually keep up with a regular generator. So later in the video, I think I got a pretty good challenge for this thing. I'm actually going to hook this thing up to the ship's shore power and see if we could run all of the lights on the entire ship. Mind you, this is a 300-foot, 5-level former cruise ship. Can we run all the lights on board? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But we're going to find out, and we're going to see how long this thing can do it for. So that's going to be our challenge for this video. And stick around because we're going to work on some projects as well.
Been taping off this border down here. Started it a while ago. Got this deck painted, so now that the deck is painted in this section, I'm going to continue my little racing stripe I got going on. Used the frog tape, got it as straight as possible, and matching this one hopefully best that I could. Got my paint all shaken up and put in my tray. Got my roller and my brush, so I'm going to cut in and roll it. Should only take hopefully about 10 or 15 minutes. The weather's changing, it's cooling down. As you can see, I'm dressed like this. Not really painting attire, but it's cold enough to where I just want to be warm. So the paint, it will take longer to dry, but it'll still dry. We don't have any rain, hopefully for a few days, so it'll be dry by the time it rains again. Frog tape, it's so easy. It's not even going to take me 10 minutes.
Well, Chris has done a great job of cutting these pieces out and getting rid of those holes. I'm going to go ahead and grind off these nubs from the bars that were protecting these windows so we can get it smooth and ready for paint.
For the first few hours of the day, we've been running 2 angle grinders, charging a drill, charging several phones, and running a shop vac as well. And we've gone from 99% down to 76%. So that's not really that bad. I guess we've been using the angle grinders probably about 30% of the time. So it hasn't been complete full, but each one of these things is like 13 amps. So that's pretty good in my opinion. And it doesn't start them up too bad at all. It's like right now on that. It doesn't waste any time. It actually starts and runs this thing better than a generator does. I don't think it'll run it quite as long, but if we charge this thing off from solar, it'll save us a little bit of money on fuel. So just what outputs does the EcoFlow Delta Max have? It has a total of 6 standard AC sockets, 2 DC 5521 output ports, a cigarette lighter adapter, 2 USB-A output ports, 2 fast charge USB-A output ports, 2 USB 100 watt output ports, and 2 extra battery ports on the side. You can also find a variety of accessories to work with your power station, including a portable solar array. But my favorite feature is an app that allows you to monitor and control your power station from abroad using your smartphone. The Delta Max can run a CPAP for 34 hours, a refrigerator for 14 hours, an electric grill for 1.7 hours, a 50-inch television for 15 hours, and a circular saw for 1.3 hours. Check out the Black Friday deals from EcoFlow at the link below in the description. Okay, now's the big time. I'm actually going to try to light up this ship using this box, hooking this thing into the shore power to see what we can do on board. And this is a big ship. It's 300 feet long and it's 5 levels, and it's got 85 cabins and 4 lounges. I don't think we're going to be able to light up all that stuff, but we're going to light up everything we can, and that's going to be a huge challenge for this little box. I've rigged a heavy-duty cord into the shore power of the ship, and we're going to plug this guy in, turn this thing on, and go see what lights up. So we're running solely on the Delta Max right now, and we have all of our lights on in the entire entryway of the Aurora, which is crazy. So we're gonna go and see how many lights will actually work. We're gonna walk down these hallways that we don't light up that often because they suck down a lot of gas. It's gonna be nice and dark, but I'm gonna go flip on the breaker panel and we'll see how much of this we can actually light up. This is the breaker panel for all of the forward cabins, and there's like 60 cabins forward. And we're gonna light everything up right now. I'm gonna flip all these things on, and they should light up all of the rooms that are here. But we're lighting up all of the corridors on the ship, and we're actually lighting up some of the old rooms that we don't generally light because the lighting isn't that efficient. And these cabins, we're lighting up all of the cabins, or as many of the cabins as we can. And they're lighting up like daylight, you know, so this is pretty incredible. We're already running hundreds of lights off of that box right now. This is pretty incredible what that thing is able to do. So we're running pretty much all of the A-deck hallway lights, and these cabins, like we can go into these cabins and we can fully run all of the lights in the cabins. This is pretty amazing, and we're doing this all off the Delta Max box. I'm loving this thing so far. Yeah, pretty much the entire ship is lit up right now. And look at this, we got a little Christmas tree now in front of the Aurora. So now is the big thing. We're gonna go out and we're gonna go in and we're gonna try to light up the main lounge. We're gonna see if we could light up all of the lights with the LEDs and see, we're gonna actually see what it can do. So I just flipped the breaker for the main lounge, which sucks a lot of power. There's tons of LEDs in there. Let's go see if it's actually working. This is taking everything that the Delta Max has to offer, and I think we're kind of riding on the edge here. Well, this is pretty well lit. I mean, all of the LED lights are on, the bar lights are on, the refrigeration is on behind the bar, and everything that you see, we have a couple of stage lights here. So this is it. We're actually lighting up 5 levels of the ship, and we're burning that thing at the maximum that it can possibly do, but it's doing it. And it looks to me like it's going to do it for probably about 45 minutes to an hour, and that's it. That's what we're going to get out of the Delta Max. So I'm impressed. This thing seems to work pretty good. So last night was absolutely a blast. I had no idea how good this thing would perform on lighting up the ship, and it did pretty good. We ran it to the bitter end of what power this thing could output, and it was pretty amazing. I couldn't be more happy with the performance of this. However, they do make a larger one called the Delta Pro, and I have a good friend over in Missouri who's also a crew member aboard the ship, who purchased one for home backup, and he absolutely loves it. Here's what he had to say, and let's take this video out with his words.
Hello, my name's Steve, and I've been following the Aurora restoration project for some time now. Recently, Chris Wilson showcased the EcoFlow Max on his program. I was amazed at the possibilities of a solar generator. I live in the Midwest, and in the winter, the possibilities of a power outage is pretty high. Our home is all electric, so I thought a solar generator may be a good alternative to a whole house generator. I looked into different makes and models and ended up choosing the EcoFlow Delta Pro and the extra battery for it. After receiving it, I wanted to test it to get a good idea how it would perform. So I charged it up to 100%. I went and plugged in my pellet stove. After about 25 hours, it was still at 46%. So I then recharged it to 100% and plugged in a refrigerator, and for 48 hours at the end, it was still at 53%. So I was really happy with that. So I took it to a fly-in. I fly powered paragliders, and many times we take our 30-foot toy hauler and we set it up along the airport runways. With no electrical hookups, we're required to use gasoline generators for our power. So with my EcoFlow Delta Pro and the extra battery with a 30 amp connector right here on the front, I could plug in my toy hauler's power cord directly into it with no adapters. So then at 100% charge in the evening, that night we ran the furnace, a TV, lights, a microwave, refrigerator all night, and in the morning a coffee pot. When I went out and checked it that morning, I was still running 67% power. So I was really real happy about that. And one of the big things about this is I didn't have to listen to my generator running all night. So I give my EcoFlow Delta Pro 2 big thumbs up.